Hello, Paul Chuck here from CIOKS. In this video I'm going to present a new product, the second product in the Future Power Generation. It's the small CIOKS 4, and I'm going to tell you what it can do for you, what the features are, and how you can use it to power your pedals. CIOKS 4 is based on the same technology as we have in our DC7 power supply, but what the difference is that the DC7 has got the AC section, so you can power it directly off AC mains, while this one lacks this section, therefore it's much smaller, but it can be powered off different sources. Lately we've seen that there are several new products on the market, small products, small power supplies, which can be powered off an external AC adapter or can be used as an extension to an existing power supply which is powered by AC. What is different in CIOKS 4 compared to these products is that we offer a wide range of different input possibilities. CIOKS 4 can be bought in two different kits. One is the adapter kit, where you get it with the adapter, so it can be powered with the adapter here, or you get it with a cable, and it's called the expander kit. To power CIOKS 4 power supply, we have provided two input sockets. One is USB-C standard, and the other one is the very well-known Bosch standard 5.5 2.1 millimeter DC plug. If you wish to use CIOKS 4 power supply as an extension to the DC7 unit, you need to use one of these link cables with the red DC plug on it, and this 50 centimeter length one is included in the expander version of the CIOKS 4. So you simply use the 24 volt outlet on the DC7 power supply, and you put this one in here, and you've got power on. In this way you get 4 additional isolated outlets to the DC7. If you wish to use CIOKS 4 as a standalone power supply for a small pedal board, you can go for this adapter kit, where you get the adapter with it. It's a 24 volts, 40 watts power supply, and you simply plug that one in, and again it's fully powered, and you get 4 isolated outlets. A unique feature about CIOKS 4 power supply is that it accepts a wide input voltage range on this non-polarized DC input socket. You can use anything in between 9 and 24 volt DC and 9 to 12 volt AC. To obtain the full power capability on the output, you need to use a 24 volt adapter, and preferably the one we include, which is a 40 watts 24 volt adapter, fitting of course the input socket here. The wide range of DC input possibilities allows you also to power CIOKS 4 with other power supplies or adapters you might have lying around. A very popular choice is the one spot which many of you might have, and this is a 9 volt adapter, and you can also use that to power CIOKS 4. So instead of using a daisy chain on the one spot, you get the expander kit without the adapter because you already have one, and use the one spot to power CIOKS 4, and in that case you get 4 isolated outlets. You might also have maybe an old laptop adapter with the same 5.5 2.1 millimeter plug, and that can also be used, no matter what polarity it has, to power the CIOKS 4. Another option, which some of you might have, is the GigRig Generator, also providing 9 volts. It can also be used to power CIOKS 4. I also mentioned that CIOKS 4 can be powered of an AC source. In case you have an AC10 or maybe a One Spot Pro, and you got rid of your tube pedal and you have one of these AC outlets not used, you can also use it to power the C4, and in that case you're converting an unused AC outlet to 4 isolated DC channels. Another very nice feature about CIOKS 4 power supply on the input side is the ability to use a power bank to power it. We here have a USB-C socket which allows a higher current of 3 amps, and you can use bigger power banks to power the CIOKS 4 using a power bank, like this. CIOKS 4 is a very light unit. It weighs only 230 grams, which is around half of a pound. And it's got the same 1-inch profile as our first product in the Future Power Generation, the DC7. Whether you go for the adapter kit or the expander kit, with CIOKS 4 you get 5 flex cables in the box. The 5 flex cables are 4 standard DC cables, which are of Boss standard, and then you get 1 3-way daisy chain. So with the included cables of the 4 isolated outlets, you can power 6 different pedals. And now I'm going to show you how to actually power some pedals with CIOKS 4. As you can see here, we have 3 high current pedals powered. It's the H9 from Eventide, we have the Big Sky and the Mobius from Strymon. And on the daisy chain, we've got 3 other pedals, the Polytune, and some dirt pedals from Wampler, and Superbolt from JHS pedals. So now we have the whole setup with 6 pedals, 3 of them a high current draw. These 2 are around 250 milliamps. This is just below 300 milliamps. And these 3, being on a daisy chain, are powered off 1 outlet. The whole thing is powered off the adapter, the 24 volt adapter, which is the one we include in the adapter kit. But if we disconnect this one, I'll show you how to power the whole thing of the DC7. You use the 24 volt output and you connect the DC link cable, and here we go. We have power again. So in this way, you have 7 isolated outlets on this one, alongside the USB output for your cell phone or an iPad. And then you have this expander, this CIOKS 4, with its 4 outlets, it's powering all these 6 pedals. And now something very special. Look at all these pedals. Look at these 3 high current pedals. And I'm using a power bank now to provide power to CIOKS 4. As you can see, everything is powered, and we are using the power bank to power the whole setup here. As on DC7, on each outlet we have the Power Good LED, which is showing the status of each outlet. In this case, you can see all 4 LEDs are lit, and that means you have good power to any of these devices. The main CIOKS LED is also showing the status of the input. So in case the voltage on your power bank drops below a certain value, it's simply out of power, this will start flashing or will simply turn off. In the same way, if you come with an adapter which has got insufficient power to power the whole setup, the CIOKS LED will also show you that. A nice feature, if you can see on the power bank that it's lacking or starting to lack power, it's just about to run out of power, you can come with the external adapter, plug it in, and in this way the adapter will take over the powering of CIOKS 4, and you can disconnect the power bank without any abruption of the operation of the pedals. So here we've got again everything powered of the original adapter we include with the adapter kit for the CIOKS 4. On the DC7 we have this legend where we have stated how to set the small voltage setting switches to obtain 9, 12, 15 or 18 volt if you wish that of each outlet. On CIOKS 4 there's unfortunately not space enough on the top of the unit, so we couldn't place this on top of it, but instead you get a sticker, and you can put the sticker on your pedal board or wherever you like, and here you can also see the settings, how to get the voltage you wish for the pedal. The full power capability of CIOKS 4 is 24 watts. That corresponds to 4 outlets with 6 watts each. To obtain the full power capability on the output, you have to come with a sufficient input power. The adapter, which has 40 watts of power, will give you the full output power of CIOKS 4. On the other hand, if you have a power bank which puts out at 3 amps, you have 15 watts of input power to CIOKS 4. That would again correspond to around 10 watts of output power on CIOKS 4. 10 watts at 9 volt is around 1 amp, and as you see here, we had 3 high current pedals powered off the power bank with no problems, And I would say you could actually go for 4 of these pedals of that type and power them off a power bank. You just have to be sure it's able to put out 3 amps. With 2 amps power banks, you only have 10 watts of input power for the T4, and that will again correspond to, I don't know, about 6-7 watts of output power, so a little bit less than using a 3 amps power bank. So how do we mount this guy on the pedal board? Well, there are several options. Because this unit is so light, you can use dual lock or another hook and loop system. We also provide this product sheet card, which has small marks and can function as a drill guide, so you can make a couple of holes in your pedal board and mount it in the same way we've shown with other CIOKS power supplies, and the screws are included. CIOKS 4, as all the other CIOKS power supplies, have mounting holes on the back, which are matched to Temple Audio pedal boards, and therefore CIOKS 4 is also compatible with Temple boards, and the screws are included to mount it directly onto a Temple board. As we have CIOKS grip as an additional accessory to DC7 power supply, in the same way we've made mini grip. The mini grip is a smaller version of the bigger one and matches the holes here in front of CIOKS 4. You can attach it here and use the grip to mount CIOKS 4 on a pedal train pedal board without any drilling. I mentioned earlier that the power capabilities on the output of CIOKS 4 are limited if you are using a power bank to provide power to CIOKS 4. In the same way, it's the case with the one-spot adapter. One-spot adapter puts out 9 volts at a maximum current of 1.7 amps. That corresponds to around 15 watts of power. The 15 watts goes into the CIOKS 4, and in the conversion process you of course lose a little bit of power. So the power you actually have for the pedals is around 10 watts. So it's pretty similar to what you get when you use power bank. And the same way I can show you here, I'm disconnecting the adapter. Here I'm putting in the USB power bank. Everything is on again. And just to show you, here we've got the one spot. I can plug that in, and it's actually taking over, powering the CIOKS 4. And now I can disconnect the power bank, and now everything is powered of the one spot. So one spot gives power to CIOKS 4, and all these pedals are very nicely powered. An additional information for all the Line 6 fans is that CIOKS 4, in the same manner as we shown with the DC7, can power the new Line 6 HX stump. What you need is these 2 additional cables. You need the parallel adapter flex, and then you need the yellow flex, which has the right polarity and size to power the HX stump. What you need on the CIOKS 4 is 2 of the outlets combined in the parallel connection, and then you can power the HX stump with CIOKS 4, giving you an additional 2 outlets to power maybe 2 other pedals or 6 pedals using 2 daisy chains. So actually a small setup with HX stump and some additional analog or digital pedals is actually possible using the CIOKS 4, and you can power everything of a power bank or an adapter or a one spot. So to wrap it all up, CIOKS 4, the second product in Future Power Generation from CIOKS. Very small unit, 4 isolated outlets with 6 watts each, with 4 different voltage options on each outlet, and a very wide possibilities of how to power this guy. We've shown how to power it from the DC7 and expanding the DC7's 7 outlets to 11 by adding the CIOKS 4 by means of the DC link cable. We've shown how to power CIOKS 4 with the adapter, which can be bought separately or is included in the adapter kit. We've also shown how to power CIOKS 4 with the power bank via the USB-C input. And on the table you see here how these 6 pedals are powered by CIOKS 4 power supply when it's powered from the DC7 by this DC link cable. We've also talked about how to mount the CIOKS 4 on pedal boards, and also how to power HX stump using CIOKS 4 power supply. So in case you have a very small pedal board and you wish to power just a few pedals, up to 6 pedals maybe 7, CIOKS 4 is the way to go. Thanks for watching, subscribe, and see you soon.